Today we're going to have fun. We're going to take you on a little tour of Italy, but I get to introduce somebody, my friend, next door neighbor, and channel subscriber, Joe, who has brought to us this wonderful recipe for Pasta Fazool. Are you ready? We got to taste your last batch of Pasta Fazool. We actually kind of exchanged soup. I called her up and I says, hey, you want to try our cabbage soup, which we made last week? And she says, sure. She says, would you like some Pasta Fazool? I says, yeah, why not? It was so good. I says, okay, what do you think? You want to do a guest spot? And thankfully you agreed.
Yes.
So, all right.
I was honored, flattered.
Right. Let's talk about our ingredients.
So what we start with is the selection of your sausage. I like to use a mixture of hot and mild. My experience in sharing it with other people is if I use all hot, 2 pounds of hot, it's too spicy for people. We do start out with what I understand is often called the Holy Trinity, onions, peppers, and garlic. The cannellini beans, house brand, 2 cans, a 10-ounce package of frozen spinach, a cup-ish, 4 ounces of pine nuts, beef broth, and I use less sodium. I am a low sodium type person, and I figure we're getting enough sodium in everything else that we're using. A jar of your favorite tomato sauce. I prefer Prego Italian sausage and garlic, and then I'm using elbow macaroni. You can use whatever pasta you prefer. We're going to start with the cannellini beans, which we're going to rinse and let them drain. So that's the ingredients.
All right, well, now we get to do the fun work. I get to play sous chef today. And my way of cutting a pepper, probably I'm not the only one, is I cut off the ends like this. And then I go ahead and I cut myself a little area in there. Ta-da! Here, now you got me all nervous. Look at that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm kidding. I have what's called an intention tremor. And as some of us age, it hits us all.
Yes.
And so even though I still have some knife skills, I'm being very, very careful.
My beloved, before he passed, used to go to a barber that had an intention trimmer. And I was always very nervous about that, so.
Let's just say he didn't ask for a shave and a haircut. All right. Normally, I would cut these up.
You can have that one, or you can put it in there. Yeah.
All right.
One is enough for me.
One is enough? All right. So now that we have the produce chopped, tell us, what is next?
Well, the next thing that we're going to do is start the water boiling for the elbow macaroni that we're going to use.
Okay.
Then we're going to go ahead and start sautéing the vegetables. Once the vegetables start looking a little translucent, we don't need to take them all the way to browned edges, but a little translucent, we're going to put the sausage in right on top of our vegetable mixture. Once we get it all stirred together for a while, we're going to take the frozen spinach, just like it is, take it out of the box and put it on top while everything sort of simmers together.
Let's get ready to cook.
Okay, we've got the water on boiling. We've got a pan that is plenty hot enough. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. We can add more later if we need to. Some people like to add a little bit of butter with their olive oil and do maybe half and half. It's entirely your discretion. The first thing we're going to do is put in all of our diced vegetables. Perfect sound. Did you hear
love that sound.
That nice little sizzle means we got the temperature just right. All right, and you'll see that our vegetables are starting to get a little bit translucent, so they're just right at the point where we want to go ahead and start adding our sausages. And what I'm doing is adding a little bit of one type of sausage. Well, I'll grab that in a minute. Yeah.
Sausage rescue.
Yeah, that's
sausage
right.
rescue.
That's right. I just chop it up a little bit so that it's going in there a little bit more evenly. It's going to get the steam from those vegetables.
If only you could smell what she is cooking right now.
And it's going to get even better. So, and this would also be a good time to start your oven, because ultimately you're going to pop this in, once it's all in the bean pot, you're going to start your oven at 350 degrees. So this would be a good time to go ahead and get that oven preheating.
It's amazing how everything is 350 degrees almost.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So we put that in there, and you'll notice that I use gloves when I'm doing the meat. And it's purely because I don't like the tactical feel of the sausage as it's going in. So at this point, I can take my gloves off.
Okay.
And we're going to just let that sit and steam together some more. maybe 10 minutes. You don't have to have it cooked all the way through because you're not going to start eating it out of this pot.
Right.
So I would say 10 minutes at this point. And then the goal is it's going to all get mixed together in the bean pot.
Right.
And
so through the magic of video, we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Okay, so our vegetables and our sausage are kind of nearing the point where I like to add the frozen spinach. And Michael is kindly opening that package for me.
You just dump it in?
Dump it in.
Ta-da!
Dump it in right at the top. And now we're going to use a really difficult technique. Steam.
Steam.
In the meantime, while we've been watching this, our pasta has finished and it's sitting over in the sink draining. So we're about ready to assemble things.
And you did rinse it so you can get rid of some of the starch.
Yes, I did.
Okay. I think that's important to let people know.
Yes.
All right, it looks like we're ready to do something.
Yes, we are getting ready to put all of this into the bean pot. Okay, so now we're going to transfer everything out of this skillet. And we're just pouring it in. And I told Michael he could be the scraper. Okay, Michael, you're up.
I'm up? Okay.
Yep. And we're just putting it into the bean pot.
Look at that. I'll be darned.
And if you will, come over here and take a close-up of the bean pot so you can see that there's plenty of room left.
Look at that. Whoops.
Which is a good thing because now we're going to add our cannellini beans first.
Should we leave them or should I stir it?
Stir it up.
Stir it up. Okay.
We're going to add the pasta. And Michael, you can keep stirring.
Okay.
You're going to have much more pasta than you need. And I stick my leftover pasta in the freezer and use it for other things later. Like when my granddaughter comes and must have macaroni and cheese. You know, I've got the worst part of it done. And this is where the easy part comes in. Now we're going to add our liquids. First in is always the sauce. And we're going to use about half of our pine nuts. No, we're going to go ahead and dump them all in.
There you go. That was a wonderful ingredient. And Jacqueline, our executive producer, really particularly liked that. She commented on it when you sent over that bowl. She said, ooh, I like that so much. And I have to agree, it was a wonderful thing. That was one of the first things I asked you. Did you put spinach and pine nuts in there? And you said, yes, I did.
Okay.
So.
And here's the last bit. My work will be done here. We're going to add the beef broth. And I start with about half the container of beef broth.
Which is about 2 cups.
And then if we're going to need more, we can put it in, but it's looking just about like it oughta. We're going to put the bean pot right in there, shove it to the back. Alexa, turn on a timer for 60 minutes.
Well, can I do the honors and pull it out?
Please, help yourself.
All right, here we go.
And I'll close the door.
Thank you. Yay. All right.
And you might notice that the bean pot is a little darker than it was. That's natural. That happens.
Oh, yeah. Are you ready? Oh my God. Look at it's bubbling in there. Can you see that? That looks wonderful.
And it is very, very hot. So do be careful when you pull it out.
I'm going to try and... Whoops. I made a mess. I hope you try and make this. If you do, please let us know in the comments just how yours came out. And I want to thank Joe today for coming by.
Thank you for the invitation.
I really appreciate this. This is wonderful.
Y'all take care.
Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like what you saw today, give us a like and also share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.